The observation dome of the Galactic Academy floated in the silence of space, a crystalline structure where the galaxy's brightest young minds gathered to learn the art of tactical warfare. Today's simulation would test everything they had learned over the past solar cycle. Anna sat at her station, her fingers drumming against the holographic interface. Around her, representatives from 43 different species prepared for the exercise. The Krillian cadets clicked their mandibles in anticipation. The Vexorian warriors, towering figures of muscle and armor, cracked their knuckles. The telepathic Mindari hummed in their characteristic collective consciousness. Humans, muttered Commander Zix, the reptilian instructor, his 3 eyes narrowing at Anna. Always so small, so fragile. I don't understand why the Council insists on admitting your kind. Anna smiled politely, though her green eyes betrayed nothing. Beside her, Daniel shot her a knowing glance. They'd heard it all before. The simulation parameters materialized in the air. Defend a civilian colony against an overwhelming Scorth invasion force. The Scorth were the galaxy's most feared warriors, brutal, efficient, and utterly merciless. Their tactics had been studied for millennia. Every species knew their patterns, their strategies, their unbreakable battle formations. Begin. Commander Zix's voice echoed through the dome. The alien cadets immediately deployed their forces using textbook defensive strategies. The Krillians established a perimeter using their signature shield wall formation. The Vexorians positioned their heavy artillery at strategic choke points. The Mindari coordinated everything through their mental network, creating a symphony of tactical precision. It was beautiful. It was perfect. It was exactly what the Scorth expected. Within 10 minutes, the simulated colony was overrun. The alien armies fought valiantly, but the Scorth AI adapted to every standard tactic, every conventional strategy. The holographic civilians were slaughtered. The cadets' forces were systematically dismantled. Silence filled the dome. Predictable, Commander Zix announced. The Scorth have conquered thousands of worlds because warriors think in patterns. Now, let us see what the human does. Anna's turn came. She cracked her neck and flexed her fingers. The same scenario loaded. The colony, the overwhelming Scorth force, the impossible odds. Daniel leaned forward in his seat, grinning. He'd seen Anna work before. What happened next confused everyone. Anna didn't deploy her forces to the perimeter. Instead, she pulled them back, all of them, into the colony's central plaza. The alien cadets gasped. It looked like surrender. What is she doing? Hissed a Krillian. She's abandoning the outer defenses. The Scorth army approached, their formations perfect, their advance unstoppable. They reached the colony's edge and found nothing. No resistance, no defenders. Then Anna did something that made Commander Zix's eyes widen. She deployed her forces in a massive circle around the colony's water treatment facility, not defending it, surrounding it at a distance. Then she fired a single missile not at the enemy, but at the facility itself. The water system exploded, flooding the entire colony plaza with contaminated water mixed with chemicals. She's destroying her own infrastructure. A Vexorian roared. This is madness. But Anna wasn't finished. As the Scorth army advanced into the contaminated zone, confident in their armored suits, Anna activated the colony's emergency power grid, every single generator, every solar panel, every energy source, and she overloaded them all at once. The electrical surge met the chemically contaminated water. The entire plaza became a massive electrical trap. Thousands of Scorth warriors fell, their systems fried, their formations broken. The surviving Scorth forces retreated, regrouped, and adapted. They began advancing from a different angle, avoiding the contaminated zones. Anna smiled. She had studied humans' own history: guerrilla warfare, asymmetric tactics, the art of making the environment your weapon. While other species learned from their ancient military academies, humans had learned from centuries of fighting opponents they shouldn't have been able to defeat. Anna collapsed buildings to create maze-like streets. She used the colony's industrial mining equipment as improvised weapons. She set traps using nothing but gravity, momentum, and the Scorth's own predictable tactical patterns against them. When the Scorth tried to fly over obstacles, She hacked their own drones and crashed them into their air units. When they tried to tunnel underneath, she vented the colony's waste recycling system into their paths. When they adapted their formations, she changed the rules entirely, using civilian vehicles as mobile shields, medical stations as false targets, even the colony's artificial gravity generators to create zones where the enemy couldn't maintain their footing. "This is irregular," Commander Zix muttered, but his voice held something new. Respect. The other cadets watched in stunned silence as Anna systematically dismantled an army that should have crushed her in minutes. She didn't fight like a soldier. She fought like a survivor. Every resource became a weapon. Every disadvantage became an opportunity. Daniel couldn't help but laugh. "That's my species for you." An hour into the simulation, the Scorthay I did something it had never done in the Academy's history. It retreated. The simulation ended. Victory flashed across Anna's screen. The dome erupted in chaos. Alien cadets shouted in a dozen languages. Some claimed it was cheating. Others demanded to see the replay. A few, the wiser ones, simply stared at Anna with newfound understanding. Commander Zix approached her station slowly, his scales shifting through colors that indicated deep thought. "Cadet Anna," he said quietly, "your tactics were unorthodox." "With respect, Commander," Anna replied, standing to face him. "You asked us to win. You didn't specify how. You destroyed your own colony's infrastructure. You used weapons that weren't weapons. You turned disadvantages into advantages. This is not how civilized warfare is conducted." Anna met his three-eyed gaze without flinching. "Commander, humans didn't survive by being civilized. We survived by being adaptable. We learned that the enemy you can't predict is the enemy you can't defeat." Zix was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, he bowed his head, a gesture of profound respect in his culture. "Perhaps," he said, "the Council was wiser than I thought in admitting your species. You don't fight like warriors, humans. You fight like survivors. And perhaps that is the most dangerous thing in the galaxy." As the other cadets filed out, still arguing and analyzing, Daniel joined Anna. "Show off," he teased. Anna grinned. "Had to represent humanity properly. Think they'll finally stop underestimating us." Anna looked at the stars beyond the dome, at the vast galaxy full of ancient species with their ancient tactics and ancient certainties. "Probably not," she said. "But that's okay. It gives us an advantage." And in the cold silence of space, the human girl who had defeated an unbeatable army smiled, knowing that humanity's greatest weapon had always been the one thing no one expected: the refusal to fight fair when survival was on the line.